On average, around 20 people die each day while waiting on an organ transplant, and currently over 110,000 people are on the organ transplant waiting list in the United States, which means this problem isn't going to go away. And this number increases every 10 minutes. However, there is a new avenue being explored to combat this issue: xenotransplantation, or the process of donating organs, tissues, or cells between different species. This may seem like an outlandish idea, but the process dates back almost 400 years to 1667, when a successful blood transfusion of sheep blood was administered to a 15-year-old boy. Now, with modern-day science and technology, the organ transplant waiting list may have struck gold. With modern advances in the science of animal hybrids and xenotransplantation, it's possible to grow a human organ inside an animal by implanting stem cells. The basic method behind this procedure is to use gene editing to remove a certain type of cell in the animal, for example, the cells responsible for forming the heart. Then, human heart cells are injected into the embryo to replace them. The embryo develops normally with the human heart inside of it for a month, where it is then euthanized and the heart is ready for donation. While this method seems simple, many moral issues arise. Should we be creating animal life for the sole purpose of extracting its organs? While this new advancement in technology could potentially save countless human lives, does that outweigh the pain and suffering being inflicted on these animals? How far are researchers willing to go before the xenogenic barriers are completely crossed? If we continue this research, what are the ethical solutions to these questions? Currently, treatment would be immensely expensive. Production of a pathogen-free donor organ would involve rearing animals in strictly controlled environments, subjecting them to rigorous standards of examination and surveillance. The cost of operation, which includes surveillance and sustaining a workplace, would be high, but even beyond that, implementation of this technology is deemed easier in a country with less restrictions. Potential beneficiaries of this technology are prevented because of those restrictions. Obviously, the doctors and scientists supporting this exploration are doing so in an effort to save the greatest amount of lives. And so far, the achievements made in this science have proved hopeful for the future of organ generation. Most would argue that since we already eat pigs, why not also genetically alter them to provide us human organs? Currently, we're incapable of growing human organs inside of animals, right now with the majority of studies being on rodents with human stem cells. One concern is that a rodent chimera may develop a higher functioning human brain due to these human stem cells being injected inside the embryo. Thankfully, scientists behind this research deem this risk negligible, but even so, provisions are being taken through close monitoring and isolation, and possibly euthanasia. Euthanization proves to be one of the most ethical solutions while still being considered inhumane, even for rodents. With more than 640 Nevadans on the waiting list, organ donors are still greatly needed, but we should still hope for the success of this new technology. Finding a safe and ethical solution to a problem of this scale is no easy task. Just as how Nikola Tesla had to prompt the imagination in order to solve his problems, current and future researchers will have to explore unfamiliar territory in the fields of anatomy and physiology and use their imagination to solve a problem of this magnitude. It may be a controversial procedure, but many advancements in history have been as well. Edward Jenner was thought to be a madman when he introduced the idea of inoculating a patient with smallpox to cure it. Yet, it worked and vaccination became common practice. To further evolve as a society, we must do things that are uncomfortable or seem unnatural. That is the only way to grow. We must tread new territories cautiously and effectively with the intentions of improving lives.